In Fredericksburg City's war on boredom, the people are entertained by two but equal parts of FXBG Pirate Radio, the comedians who generate humor and the talented audio geeks who record it. These are their stories.
Is that it? We're live now?
We're live.
Law and Order intro. What's up? This is the Shock Monkeys. I'm the Madman.
I'm EK the DJ.
And we got a special guest, Tom.
Yay!
He's the guy you hear us talking about every now and then, making comments on
Tom
it.
the listener.
Yeah.
In studio.
Tom in studio? Live?
It's really
Listener Tom live.
Interactive radio, right, Tom?
No, yeah.
You just called him Listener Tom. Now you're making him talk. He's not Talker Tom, he's Listener Tom.
So let's start off by saying Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We were supposed to do a show last week, but I caught the damn flu and was sick as hell. So we kind of wanted to do like a year in review kind of thing. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit today. But, so Happy New Year, 2017. Wow.
It can't be worse than last year.
Right.
So I don't know if you were on the Facebooks, but you know, a lot of people were really like paranoid that last stretch of the month of December about, you know, Betty White dying.
Oh, yeah.
Because
there was a
so
GoFundMe.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It was
somebody got a GoFundMe to like keep her alive?
Keep her safe. We need to hire bodyguards. Get her some antibiotics, not for any particular reason, just to keep her healthy.
I did think it weird that as soon as Carrie Fisher died, her mom died.
Yeah.
Oh, make no bones about it. That was grief.
That was weird.
That was grief. Grief took her.
Oh, yeah.
We got to get you closer to the mic. If your headphones are too loud, Scott,
I got it.
Scott can turn them down.
Audio good? Audio
good.
level's good? All right. Well, you want to talk what we did about last week? I'm not going to go into detail.
No,
about
I'm
my
not done
sickness.
talking about 2016 yet.
That's what I mean.
The funniest thing about this is, you know, Mike from Comics Online and the new Pirate Radio Adventure Smooth Sailing we've been working on.
The Balls of Steel guy.
Yeah.
I got you.
He made a great joke. You know, 2017 is already off to a bad start. You know, 2016 died right at the very beginning. I'm paraphrasing there. His delivery was way better online.
I should hope so.
Can you record it and
record it and send it back to us, Mike. I know you're listening.
I could do that joke better than him. Golly. All right, so let's talk about weekends last week.
Oh, for New Year's?
Yeah, what'd you do?
I got home from work around 10-ish in the evening.
Yeah.
Took a picture with Luca, put him to bed, and then watched Law & Order SVU till I fell asleep. In the background, sometime around midnight, I heard fireworks. Next morning, I woke up, went to work.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome New Year's.
Incredibly interesting. I hope you got something better, Tom.
Well, every time you guys have this intro, I can't help but think of one of my favorite movies, Old School.
Right.
When Will Ferrell's like, I think I even...
You're going to get to do some arts and crafts?
You know, Bed Bath & Beyond. Maybe
Right, Bed Bath & Beyond.
I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna have enough time.
But anyways, I had a week off. I took the last week of the year off. I'm spoiled like that.
Nice.
But it was a staycation, but I worked the whole darn time. My wife has a side business selling clothing, and I did all her accounting work for her. So that was my lovely vacation.
Is she one of those Lalaroos?
Exactly.
I knew it.
What is that?
It's a line of woman clothing.
LuLaRoe?
It's the three.
LaLaRoe?
It's three names of one of the owner's children. Lou, LU. I don't know what LU short for Lula or something.
Yeah, I've lost interest.
La and row.
So it's LuLaRoe.
Yeah, LuLaRoe.
But it's something I would never wear.
No,
It's
like-
something you would never wear.
Then why
It's
do I don't have to
mostly
learn?
leggings.
It's a very good markup on leggings. And,
Yeah.
but it's good quality. Whatever. I don't care about that. Your audience is not the demographic that
No,
buys
listen,
LuLaRoe.
listen, I can explain this to our audience in a nutshell.
Right.
It's LuLaRoe, right? At Walmart, you can get 3 pairs of black, gray, and white leggings for about $8.99.
Yep.
With LuLaRoe, you can get some fancy printed leggings for about $25 a pair.
$23.
$23 a pair. I was pretty close.
Wow.
Believe me, I've been doing accounting. But that was my week, is doing accounting for LuLaRoe. We still have to do our year-end inventory. I'm hoping to kick that off this weekend. So.
God, that sounds so boring to me.
Well, Sunday I did take off, and I got my son a new computer for Christmas.
Nice.
And I played about 10 hours of Fallout 4. So there you go.
Nice.
There you go.
That's awesome. That's good for a staycation. You should have led with that instead of doing taxes.
Yeah. I did go to Bed Bath & Beyond.
So I guess you did have enough time. God.
All right, well, tell us what went on for the New Year's party with Axel and Paul and them.
No, I mean I didn't. I was still kind of sick, so I didn't want to go anywhere. But it's like every New Year's around clock. It's like clockwork. You know, Axel calls me around 2 a.m. You know, and he's shit faced. I'm shit faced.
Is it because he's in 2 hours behind us?
Yeah, I don't know.
And why 2 a.m.?
I don't. There's no telling 1 second to the next where
Well,
he's
I
gonna
just
be.
assumed because he's not in I guess two
mean-
hours behind us would be.
Yeah, I think he was in California at that time.
Well, he's California. It would have been 3.
3 hours.
Yeah,
So he called you before midnight. His time.
There's nothing going on mountain time, so that's when he calls you.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, so yeah, it was like he just called me up. He was shit faced. I was shit faced. I can't even remember the conversation. You know, it's just one of those things. Like party days. You know, there's party days every year. You know, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all the big holidays. You know, St. Patrick's Day, and that's when I get those late night calls from Axel, and we just start catching up and ask him about Duffy and stuff like that. And, you know, because fuck Slash. But I like Duffy.
You remember that old video of Slash performing with Michael Jackson before he passed away? And like he kept showing him up on stage, and Michael Jackson would run to the other side of the stage, and then Slash would go into a solo and like just showed him up, and he was visibly pissed. That video is out there. If you don't,
Yeah, I have to go look for that after the show or something. Yeah, I mean, mostly I just stayed because I wasn't feeling 100% at New Year's by that point. I just kind of stayed at home, played video games, played DC Legends on my phone, and beating up bad guys, that kind of thing. So I actually have the boring story because if I can remember the conversation that I had with Axel, I would tell you that, but I don't. You know, I was sick and drunk, and so I don't remember because every kind of conversation I have with him, it's ridiculous. You know, he said something about Jared being pissed that I haven't seen that movie yet, the Suicide Squad, and
Jared Leto?
I have not seen that movie yet either.
Okay.
And so, I mean, I'm trying to tell him, it's like, you know, the premise, you know, the whole Joker thing. I mean, what is he, like your character from Fight Club? Like post Fight Club? I mean, because he got his teeth knocked out and everything.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
And so I don't get it. It's like, you know, plus I don't like Jared anyway. He comes on to me too much. I don't like that. Axel, I mean, he is sometimes like jealous because Jared's never come on to him. But Jared comes on to me. It's weird. Weird relationship we have. Yeah, I didn't hear from Paul, though. Didn't hear from Paul. Well, damn, that's 10 minutes.
I don't know what Luca is
Well, what's he?
humming
How
about.
was his New Year's?
I mean, he fell asleep. I mean, he actually went to a party. And I know that sounds unrealistic because I was at work. But he went to a party with his aunt.
Oh, okay.
It was like a neighborhood PTA mom families. They had like a neighborhood party. It was kid friendly, and like all the kids and
I should hope
parents.
so. Yeah.
All the kids and parents. They did
sound like
they did that poo bucket game.
Poo bucket?
Are you not familiar?
I'm not familiar.
I don't
Okay,
know if I
so-
want to know.
So there's 4 buckets, and
Do they
I
poo in
guess
it?
there's 2 teams, and you take a potato and you put it between your legs, and you have to walk to the other side
To
of
the bucket and
stretch
drop it in the bucket?
it in the bucket. I don't know what the game's called, but I like to call it the Poo Bucket game.
Poo Bucket sounds like a good name for
Dude,
it.
the kids were having so much fun playing this game, and it was okay. It was cute when the kids were doing it, but when the adults were doing it was
It's
hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, there's video of Luca dancing, and he's dancing to the party, and like it was just fun. It was fun all around.
Of Luca dancing.
Yeah.
I should have used that video on Twitter instead of. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out Twitter anyway.
I don't get Twitter.
Yeah, I keep trying. To
I get
figure it out.
Facebook.
Yeah,
I get
Facebook,
Instagram.
Instagram, yeah.
I'm still on the fence with
And
whatever
Twitter,
that
yeah.
other one was. Snapchat, I don't get.
Yeah, I don't.
But Twitter, it just annoys the hell.
I don't
out
know.
of
It just seems like
Snapchat,
social. There's too
aka
much.
the app for cheating and not getting caught.
me. There you go.
Really?
Dude, you can send a picture message that deletes itself after you read it. If that doesn't have dishonesty stamped all over it, I just don't trust Snapchat at all.
I don't get it. One of my coworkers had it, and he'd Snapchat with his kid. Like he got it so he could track what his kids were doing. Wow. Well, so he's aware what the hell they were doing.
Well, just imagine what Luke. You're gonna have to deal with Luca. You're gonna be that dad going through his phone and stuff.
No. The thing is, his mom doesn't live with me, so Luca will get home and be like, Dad, I plowed some girl last night. And I'll be like, that's my boy. Have a beer. Dad, I'm 12. So I know, you wrapped it up, right, son?
Then you deserve a beer. Smart men deserve beers. Smart, responsible
I
men.
promise I'm not going to be that horrible a parent.
No, you're gonna be a grandpa in like 10 years. Oh man. Could you imagine that being like 40 and being a grandpa? Wow.
It's funny that you
That's
mentioned that.
fast track.
It's funny that you mentioned that because Luca's maternal grandmother is about 40 years old.
Wow.
You see, that should have been a sign.
Yeah.
Not going to say anything more.
But she'd been a grandma for a while. So.
Yeah, she was a grandma for a couple of years.
Anyway.
That's why I'm listener, Tom.
I think she
I'm not
became.
gonna
I
comment
think
on
she
that.
became a grandma at 36.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm 40. I don't even have any kids, man. Never been married. Haven't had a relationship in 16 years.
36 is better than, I don't know, 26.
Yeah.
That would be disturbing on a whole
Disturbing, yeah.
epic
30,
level.
36.
But 36 is that's the
18
crazy
and 18?
That's the crazy thing about this world. 26 is possible. You could be
Yeah.
physically, biologically, you could
13
be a
years old.
grandparent at
At 13.
36 or 26.
A parent at 13.
A parent at 13. That's frightening.
Yeah. Babies having babies, people.
I had mine when I was 25, so.
I was 33 when my first was born.
See, that's
Wait,
what
no, 32 when my first.
But I mean, 25 is kind of on the cusp of about the age I think you're kind of ready to do something like that. You know, I generally don't think that a 16-year-old is
No.
ready to be a parent.
You want to be.
Even like 18, 20. I mean, if
I
you
mean,
met...
at 25, I wanted to be sitting there playing, let's see, Halo at the time. And I do remember my son Jack, much like Luca, would be walking around me and my buddies in his diaper while we're playing Halo. We'd give him controller 4, and he would walk around, you know, the guy's guns up in the air.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And that's a 25, 26-year-old doing that. I can't imagine a 16-year-old doing it. At least I would then pay attention to the kid versus, I don't know, you heard some of the stories of parents getting so sucked into things that their
Oh, yeah.
child are neglected and
Oh, yeah.
See,
Second life.
That's
EverQuest,
why.
that kind of
That's
stuff.
why I only play games now that can be paused.
Right.
All of my online gaming has stopped.
Well, when you have an infinite, man, yeah, you have to be able to put it down and go chase out. No, get out of that
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
So that makes sense to me. So, I mean, you can't be on a, guild raid. It's a BRB and running off trying to pull your kid out of something because, you're a
Right.
responsible adult.
You're right on top of it. There's nothing that I can do that takes more than about 3 minutes of my time where I don't have to hit pause
And deal with
and
something.
chase Luca. There's about 1 hour a night when I'll put Luca to bed. I will go in the living room. I'll get myself something to drink, get a snack. I'll turn on the PlayStation. I'll do my updates because I haven't turned on my PlayStation in a week.
Right.
And I'll boot my game up, and I will load my saved game, and then I'll turn my PlayStation off. Because by that time I'm tired and I'm ready to go to bed. So I get about to the point where I've loaded my game and I've looked at my player's inventory and said, I'm not getting into this right now. I'm going to bed.
That's why I don't want to have kids.
Dude, I was in bed at 8 o'clock last night.
I know. I know.
I passed out so early. And I put Luca to bed, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, I'm just going to close my eyes for a second. And then my alarm went off at 6 this morning. I was like, shit, what happened?
I don't know. You ever been to, like, you remember photo albums where you go to somebody's house and look through photo albums?
Oh, yeah.
You don't know how many pictures I've seen in my life. I'm sure you've seen them too, where it's the dad holding the baby or the kid sleeping in their lap and they're passed out too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, that's real life for you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because as soon as that kid goes to sleep, that's the first second you've had a piece of quiet and you haven't had like 2 hours of sleep in the last 2 days.
One of the first pictures of me and Luca together is a picture of me passed out with Luca on top of me.
Nap time.
Fact of life. It gets better when they get older, right, Tom?
Oh yeah.
You get more sleep.
My son's turning 16. My daughter's 14. They don't care about me anymore.
Oh, good.
My son, now you want to talk about what you did for a week? My son sat down in the basement all week playing video games, League of Legends.
You know, he's your kid, right?
All week long. So yeah, that's.
You fight with him over Fallout?
No, he knows I go downstairs.
Oh, you got a schedule?
No, I just go downstairs and go, I'm playing now, and he gets off. I have another computer. He doesn't play as good of games. You can, get some Civilization or something. You can play League on that. But the good computer's downstairs. You get that when they get 14 and 16. Except if Luca gets actively involved, you're going to be dragging him all over to soccer practice.
See, the thing I'm really terrified of with my son is I've always been an indoor kid. And I feel like there's going to come a time where it's going to be, a Sunday morning and or a Sunday afternoon, and I'm going to be in the living room playing video games or watching cartoons, and Luca's going to come and be like, can I turn the game on? Can we just put the game on? Can I go outside and play?
Yeah, he's going to be a jock.
He's already huge, and he eats nonstop, and he's in 75th percentile height and weight. He's gonna be a football player.
Who's a fat baby? Oh,
and I'm gonna have to learn how to play sports ball so I can keep up with him.
That was me every weekend.
Well, then try to steer him towards a sport you already know.
Yeah,
I would suggest baseball.
Wii golf.
What? Wii golf?
Wii golf.
I'm going to my son's Wii golf game. What?
Baseball I could deal with.
You watch. He's going to be a meathead bully.
No, I'm hoping for bowling or golf or one of the other non-running sports.
Tennis.
No, tennis. You got to move, man.
Yeah, but
I couldn't keep up with
little
him.
area.
Still, I'm not sprinting 13 feet and then back 13 feet. No, too
No,
much.
if you don't want to play tennis with your son, just lose to him all the time. That's all you do.
Yeah, but if he gets into it, I'm going to have to get into it.
It's like my dad with chess. I was always begging because he always beat me for a while at chess, and I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to beat him at chess. Right? So I always wanted to play chess, and then he said, like, he just started losing to me. And I lost all interest.
Yeah, okay.
At first, it's like a bonding thing, but after a while, you're just like, I don't want to play any more tennis, son. Why don't you pick up Wii golf?
I tried to get my daughter to play tennis not too long ago. It was a mistake. We live
skee ball. He could play skee ball.
We live at the bottom of the hill, and I couldn't even make it up the hill with the bike, so the tennis game was cut short.
I think he's snoring.
He's out.
He sounds like a pug.
Yeah.
Yep.
And pugs sound like little
Why is he
perverts.
sleeping in high speed? It's the only speed this kid knows. That's another sport he could do, and I'd be okay with. NASCAR.
What?
Well,
Now, see, he protested. He actually stirred when he said, no way, Dad, I ain't being no redneck.
I like the occasional right.
I want to go fast.
I don't want to pee in my suit.
One of my favorite comedians that passed away, Mitch Hedberg.
Mitch Hedberg, yeah.
Had a
You
great,
really like Tide. Yeah,
a
that kind
great
of thing, yeah.
bit about NASCAR. Can I put my feet out the window?
That would be awesome.
I want to be a race car passenger.
Well, you can now. You can get like the car view and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's all. They've gotten pretty high tech with it.
Which is cool if you like that sort of thing. Yeah, if you like that sort of thing.
Well, we're ready to jump
Yeah, I was
in-
gonna
jump
pull
some
into these news stories. You want to talk about like 2016 in review?
Yeah, why don't you get started, and I'm gonna go put this guy in his crib because he's passed out,
Okay.
and I'll be right back.
So I guess I'm getting to be about 40 years old, And I guess it's around that age where all the celebrity legends from that you grew up on just start croaking.
Yeah, I could say that.
And that's just like a cycle of life. All right. A lot of people died this year. All right. Let's talk about George Michael for a second. I'm not so bummed about that. There's only 2 songs he did that I liked, and that's Careless Whisper and Freedom. And I mean, he was always a kind of a weird dude. I know he made the girls hot and stuff like that, and that's great. Because, I mean, you can go to the school dance and you get some Wham comes on and
Wake me
Kid.
up before go.
And they're like, let's dance because George Michael's so hot. And like, he's not into you, or is he? I don't know. He's not even sure. Yeah. So, I mean, and you know, like my favorite band, right?
No,
Yeah, we never really talked about that over D20s.
No.
But yeah, my favorite band is Queen, and
I could go with Queen.
And when Freddie Mercury died, they did a tribute concert, and George Michael, he was like the lead guy, and boy, he just couldn't handle the tunes. I understand it's Freddie Mercury stuff, and it's hard for anybody to sing, you know, Somebody to Love. They should have picked a different song for George Michael because he could not do that song. That's a tough song.
The thing is, though, he had faith that he could handle it.
I hate that song because when it was hot, it was friggin' everywhere. I mean, you know, I used to work in a radio station.
Somebody just should have woken him up before he go-goed. That one didn't work as well as the faith joke.
I already sang it and sort of did the.
There you go.
Jitterbug. You put the boom boom into my. Anyway. All right, it's a catchy tune.
Dude, wham.
But it's not as good as Careless Whisper or Freedom.
Careless Whisper was that's another one that's really stood the test of time.
Yeah.
And Freedom, dude, energetic,
Very good song.
upbringing.
Yeah. And of course, Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds. You know,
That was a double whammy.
that is a double whammy. I think it's important because, I mean, I remember like seeing on Instagram and Facebook, a lot of these girls are like, you know, rest in peace, Carrie Fisher. And I mean, I totally get it. I understand why she is such a hero. Because when you're talking about the role she played in 1977 in the very first Star Wars.
And the time frame that movie came out,
yeah.
she was a female
Lead.
hero. A
Hero.
lead,
She
yeah.
wasn't just a damsel in distress. There, yes, they were saving the princess, but she took the blaster rifle out of his hands and like, into the garbage chute, flyboy, taking charge like a princess would.
Right.
You know, a good female leader.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what was so great about Princess Leia as a character.
The character, yes.
Yeah, is because she just wasn't this. Oh, my nails!
Oh, you're disconnected.
I can't. You can't hear me?
The headphones must have disconnected.
Oh, I see it.
Did I do it? Or do you do it?
I did it.
All right.
He does that from time to time.
Yeah, you guys keep going.
Well, I'm disconnected too.
The thing about Princess
Melissa.
Leia, Carrie Fisher in general, she was
There you go.
she was the feminist of her time, but not the kind of feminist that has a bad name.
She's not an aggressive feminist. Is it?
No. There are
she was a positive role model for women.
there are feminists, and then there are misandrists, which
Yes.
identify as feminists but are not, because feminism is about equality.
Yeah.
Whereas there are some identifying feminists that are not about equality.
They're about oppression of men.
Misandry.
Misandry.
Yeah, men are bad, men are evil, men are wrong. And Carrie Fisher was, she was a feminist that believed in equality, and not pigeonholing women into certain roles.
Predictable 1950s kind of stereotype roles. Yeah, and that's what was great about her. And Debbie Reynolds, I think she was her mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not really familiar with
I'm
her
not
work
familiar with her line of work.
because I'm
I
too
believe she,
young. I guess.
She did do some dancing things with Fred Astaire or something. I don't know.
Well, that's cool. I guess.
I believe she, was a famous actress. Carrie was her daughter. I'm not too much of a fan of Carrie Fisher. I don't want to,
She wasn't that great of an actress. Don't get me wrong.
I mean,
but she had an important role, and she was a
her
hero to a lot of
character
people.
was
Yeah.
an important character role.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think afterwards, after her coming out of drugs and she's making some examples and some of her script writing, her career as a whole was good. And I could disparage the dead.
Yeah.
But,
A little bit. We'll do it a little bit.
I mean, Star Wars 6, Slave Leia, I never understood it. So you have a girl in a metal bikini. She's, no offense, not that. And again, I don't want to disparage the dead. And maybe
You didn't think she was hot in it?
I didn't think.
I think she looked hotter in The Burbs. You seen that movie, The Burbs?
That Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks?
Yeah, Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks was it Arnold in it?
Arnold.
Who's his
Tom
neighbor?
Arnold?
Tom Arnold. Who's his neighbor? A guy who looked like Tom Arnold. It wasn't Tom Arnold.
I forget his
I'm
name.
having a flashback.
Yeah, he was one of those 80s actors.
Yeah.
But she looked really good. She had like a tan, and she was wearing that like 80s. What are those skirts?
Again, I'm being misogynistic here, comparing her just on her physical beauty, but I don't think she was that great of an actress. I know her later life, her script doctoring and whatnot. Yeah, good.
And
sorry to be.
and
Tom the listener is being a downer.
and plus her performance in, I'd hate to say this, the Star Wars movie, The Force Awakens, wasn't very good. But then again, she was never really a good actress.
Well, she wasn't a main character in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, cut her a little slack.
Yeah.
In that role, she's playing a mother whose son turned out to be a dick.
I feel like we got to a point where we're like kicking Carrie Fisher. And that wasn't my intention at all.
Damn it.
Again, I'm sorry.
Damn it for the best band name we've come up in a long time.
Kicking Carrie Fisher.
Kicking
Kicking
Carrie
Carrie
Fisher.
Fisher.
Damn it.
I'm not going to disparage her.
If it wasn't so horrible and too soon,
Yeah,
that
too
is a
soon, yeah.
phenomenal band name.
But her dying, it was years of abuse on her body. And
True. And that's
When-
why her
when-
heart gave out. Cocaine will do that.
When you
It's
get a
hell of
heart
drug.
came out, again, R.E.P. But again, I'm not going to be all, she was in Star Wars, Princess Leia. That was her character.
All right, December 13th. Alan Thicke died. Everyone remembers Growing Pains. Oh, boner.
And he died in a tragic way. He was playing
With
with
his
his kid.
yeah.
I think he's playing hockey with his kid, and he had a heart attack, massive heart attack.
Yeah, I don't remember. We did the story when it happened. I can't remember.
It's just brutal.
This article I'm looking at is from Us Weekly. Alan Thicke, we're talking about John Glenn, astronaut, but he was 95. I mean,
Full life, went to the moon. Can't ask for a senator. Can't ask for more.
Hypothetically went to the moon.
He went to the moon.
all right. People, yeah, we've been to the moon. Zsa Zsa Gabor died as well.
How old was she? She was in her 90s?
Yeah, 99.
Was she in Green Acres? Was it her
Yeah,
sister?
she was in Green Acres. And
Yeah, first of all, she dropped off the scene
yeah, a long time ago.
so long ago that I don't think a lot of people knew she was still alive.
Well, I think they said, did Ava go to die this year?
Yeah.
It was like I thought he was dead.
I thought he was dead 3 years ago. I keep
I
hearing
thought he
that.
was dead in My Cousin Vinny. Was he in My Cousin Vinny?
No.
I don't know.
That was the guy that played Herman Munster.
I was going with it. I was giving you a laugh.
Well, some people might know this guy. William Christopher died. He was the priest guy on Father Mulcahy on Fat
Oh,
MASH.
MASH, yeah.
And that's kind of sad. Ricky Harris, comedian and actor. Who is that?
Never heard of Ricky Harris.
Yeah, I'm not
okay.
familiar.
Ah,
you know.
I gotta click on this thing. I want to see more.
The Heat.
Oh, don't do it. It's a trap.
That's what he's known for.
Let's see, Nancy Reagan died this year.
Oh, don't get me started on Nancy Reagan.
Why?
It's the libertarian in me.
Oh,
The
yeah.
whole war on drugs.
I got you. Patty Duke, she died.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, what do you really remember her the
Was
most
it the
for?
mom from the Brady Bunch died too?
Yep.
Yeah,
Florence Henderson?
Lawrence Henderson.
I think I saw a meme of 80s kids. All the deaths that happened.
Jose Fernandez, Miami Marlins pitcher. Remember the boating accident?
I don't remember the voting accident.
Yeah. Well, you don't follow baseball like I do.
Yeah.
September 24th, he was 24 years old. Isn't that crazy?
That is pretty, yeah.
That's-
It's sad.
Sad.
Yeah. Arnold Palmer died. I didn't notice that. Florence Henderson. I don't know. Leonard Cohen,
Leonard Cohen's the guy that wrote the song Hallelujah,
Yeah.
amongst many others.
which claimed to fame, but that is an excellent song.
You still haven't hit the biggest one.
Who's that?
Prince.
Is that the biggest one, though?
It's probably at the bottom of the list because he was
he
probably
died
the most
early.
talented.
He died
He's
early.
up there, but I feel like Bowie was the biggest one.
Well, true. I'll give you Bowie.
We lost the Goblin King and Prince. Nothing?
It's
Nope,
sad.
nothing?
Yeah, I recognize the
Well, I mean, that's all I'm
reference.
thinking of is how sad it is. Alexis Arquette died.
Alexis Arquette. Yeah, that's the well, not always. Alexis Arquette was not always Alexis Arquette.
I know, Richmond. Or no,
What was the original name?
Alex probably.
Was it Alex?
Probably. That's probably what he was
I feel,
born
like,
as.
I feel like it was Michael or something. Something not related to Alex or Alexis.
But I mean,
One of the transgender people.
well, he was kind of one of those first people like getting
Yeah. Like in
that stuff in the public.
wasn't it like in the 80s or something?
I think it was like The Wedding Singer he appeared in, and then that kind of. So I guess it was like the 90s.
That was the 90s, yeah.
Yeah. Gene Wilder.
Oh, that was sad. That's sadder than Bowie.
Yeah.
I love
Gene Wilder. He was one of the best.
Blazing Saddles. Half those movies he did with Richard Pryor's in the 80s.
Oh yeah. So great. John McLaughlin. John McLaughlin. I'm
John
sorry.
McLaughlin.
You guys know who that is, right? The McLaughlin Group. You guys
Yep.
ever watch that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I watched
I
it.
do.
I'm familiar with it. I was a little bit more sad about Hans Gruber dying.
Hans Gruber?
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman. Come on. Die
Yeah.
Hard.
That's true. Muhammad Ali, Alan Rickman.
Well, Muhammad Ali was.
He's an interesting
years.
character.
He's an interesting character, but there's a difference. I do feel bad for Carrie Fisher. She was 60. Muhammad Ali's been disabled for years. I mean, I'm sure he's not much older than Carrie Fisher.
Yeah,
Abe Vigoda
I feel
in the
really feel like for
90s.
Muhammad Ali it was more of a release than anything. Because did he have Parkinson's?
Yeah, or something.
Towards the very end there, he was
Yeah.
in a rough state.
That was more of a relief. There's a difference when somebody dies. I mean, Carrie Fisher, yes, she was 60. It was still tragic. You know, Muhammad Ali was, 74?
Yeah.
And he's been,
Been ill for a while.
right. And again, Abe Vigoda, 90s.
Hey, Gary Shandling died.
You said that as if it was such a positive. Finally, Gary Shandling died.
Sorry, I think he was a prick. That's all I think. He was just a prick.
No, he was known for his comedy was rough. It was
Yeah.
It was I'm going to be a prick, and how are you going to react to me? I mean, if you look at some of the stuff he did, it was just genius.
I don't know about that.
He was good. I mean, again, it's what you like and not. But
The only thing he did that
was-
I liked was a movie where he's like an alien sent down to breed with. I can't remember the name of the movie. And Annette Bening was in it, and he's supposed to breed with.
I know what movie you're talking about. It's
I
just
can't remember the name of it, but anyway,
Did you watch the Gary Shandling show?
no.
Oh, that was awesome.
No, there's some things I just can't.
Look, I mean, I'm not recommending necessarily to go back. It is back from the 90s, but if you are looking to binge watch something, that's something to.
well. Now that we've talked about death for 10 minutes, maybe we should talk about some current events.
All right. Well,
But,
I mean,
but you know what? I'm sorry, we missed the big one. Kenny Baker died. We're talking Star Wars.
R2D2.
Oh yeah,
Right, we lost Layla
we lost
and Kenny
we
Baker.
lost Leia, and we lost R2D2. Who's gonna contact Obi-Wan now?
I C-3PO probably.
Poor Obi-Wan.
Yeah, poor Obi-Wan. Oh, honestly, there's no other droid available. Okay.
I just don't want to lose K2SO. I mean, I like Rogue One too much. We need Tuvok for another 2 decades or so. Even though his character's dead, we need him more sci-fi.
He was a good droid
Yeah.
in
Oh,
Rogue
he was
One.
my favorite droid.
Yeah, best droid yet. I mean, he was like a cool C-3PO.
I have not seen Rogue One yet, but I've seen clips and references to him being the most badass of all the
Oh,
robots
he was
in the
great.
droids. Yeah, I know. Droid is a fucking robot. Yes,
Short for android.
android's a robot.
Not necessarily.
Are we gonna get into the soul argument again?
No, it's not about souls. All right. The machines that put together cars, those are robots. All right. An android is
a robot. It's a damn robot.
It's
It's a robot with artificial intelligence.
exactly. Big difference.
Regardless if you're going to go with data in his positronic brain or whatnot,
Android,
Data's a
Android.
robot too.
still no soul.
He's still a robot.
Still no soul.
He's a robot. He's just a robot with AI, so he's considered a droid. I'll have to go with Madman on that one.
I feel like you're taking a very middle of the road place there because you're still saying he's a robot, but it has AI, so it's
Right, but-
it's an evolved robot.
But a droid is a robot. It's a subclass.
It's a type of
yeah.
robot.
Like, if you-
I'll agree with
If
that.
you go with your dog, is it a dog or is it a Rottweiler? It's both.
Right.
It's a Rottweiler.
So wait.
think.
So wait. This
Is he a
is
Rottweiler?
this is the robotist thing we're talking about. To call an android a robot would be like insulting him. That would be the android's racial slur.
Racial slur. Shut up, robot.
What did you call me? That's my word.
I'm an android.
I'm an android.
Don't use the R word on me. Oh, sorry. Don't use the R
It-
word on.
It implies lesser evolved artificial intelligence. Damn robot. Excuse me. I'm an android.
I want reparations. Robot reparations.
What would robot reparations be?
I don't know.
Not getting your mind wiped.
Here's a USB thumb drive. It's loaded with all the books of Tolkien and George R.R. Martin. Free of charge.
All right, let's do some current event topics. Governor of New York
Andrew
calls,
Cuomo.
yeah, he calls for free tuition for New York public colleges. You know Eileen Wright.
I don't know Eileen Wright. Who's
No,
she?
Eileen Wright.
Ba-dum-bum.
Yeah,
We get it.
we get it. It's just not funny.
Damn it.
You remind me of,
You do have the soundboard. You could do it. yourself.
I don't ever give myself the funny joke. I think it's funnier that I tell a joke. And
but
it-
if you're
and it-
sitting
and it
behind,
misses.
if you're sitting behind a drum set and you make a joke, you will make a rim shot.
I'm just not that pretentious.
You can't get. I've heard you give yourself a rim shot sitting behind a drum set. Don't play that game with me.
I'm not that pretentious on the soundboard.
Oh, okay. All right.
I didn't say it in real life.
It's like you only do. You don't only do sound bites for your jokes. But because your jokes are so bad, maybe you need them.
There you go.
I'm getting that timing. We'll get it. We'll get it. Anyway, Andrew Cuomo is proposing to offer free tuition for people in New York public colleges to eligible residents. You know
Okay.
Eileen Wright, but I'm kind of for this. I think this is more important than like affordable health care because it's not that affordable and it's kind of a pain in the butt. But
I disagree.
why?
Okay.
Because you paid for college.
Not because
Still
not
paying
because
it
I
off.
paid for college, because somebody has to pay those teachers.
True.
Somebody has to pay for the utilities on the facilities. Somebody has to pay for the electric. Somebody has to pay for the water in the bathrooms. College costs money.
Well, I
we
guess-
we pay for public schools.
Then the textbooks are going to start being $800.
Here's the question. now.
Textbooks, you already have to pay for textbooks in college. If those are going to be paid for, if all this is going to be paid for, it has to be paid for by somebody. So I think that, much like my opinions on the welfare system, you have to be trying to work. You have to be invested in your future before you can get into any college for free. I think that you should be able to go to college part-time for free as long as you hold a full-time job.
All right, let me read from this article. Cuomo's plan will provide free tuition to a state university of New York or City University of New York college, including a 2-year community colleges, for residents whose families earn less than $125,000 a year.
So
It's
everybody,
Not necessarily everybody.
families that earn less than $125,000 a year.
Yeah, that's not very much.
I'd say it's the majority.
I would say it's the
average median
majority
income,
too.
But
I have actual experience since I went to a state university of New York, University of Buffalo, go Bulls. 1993 to 1997. Now it was only $5,000 a year. I pretty much paid off those student loans pretty quick versus kids nowadays, but it's not that expensive if you go to the state university. I wish it was paid for when I was free. My mom would have been able to pay for it. She was a single mother, nurse, made good money. Even if you half that, I would have been eligible. But most people in New York, in at least the city I was in, North Tonawanda, New York, I think the median income
Iroquois name?
was about 60. It's an Indian name, Tonawanda. There's a lot of
that
Indian
sounds
names
Iroquois.
in Buffalo. I think the median income was like $56,000 a year, so most people would be eligible for it.
Isn't that a good thing, though?
Here's my thought.
It's not a good thing.
Here's my thought, though. It's an investment in the future.
That's
if you
right.
get a college-educated person, and I can give you 3 examples. My wife's cousins were all on welfare. Okay, 4 children, grew up on welfare. I'm a libertarian. I'm no welfare. But all 4 of, well, 3 of them, one of them chose not to. He has a landscaping business. Good for him. He's got his
That's
own
what he wanted
business.
to do, yeah.
But they all went and got educations. They all are above the medium income now. I don't know with their spouses. They're in that 125,000. So I guess their kids are screwed. But they are now paying into the system. They are paying taxes that it would have
Exactly.
exceeded
They're more valuable
the amount.
taxpayers.
So there's certain things potentially you can't say they're more valuable because if somebody doesn't. But there should also be not only that. It should be if there's a qualified.
I think there needs to be qualifiers. I think that's very important to the whole process. You need to have a 3.5 GPA to get to go to college for free. I'm sorry. You need to prove that you're going to be a good student.
But then
You need to prove that you're going to be a good student.
I think you need to earn
me
it.
as a taxpayer,
I think you need to earn
invest
it.
into your future.
But you shouldn't be going to a private institution. A public institution's
I'm with you. I'm with you on
like
the public
university,
institution.
SUNY universities. They're cheap.
State funded colleges. I'm all about that.
Yeah.
If you
But
prove,
I think your income, if you can prove you're going to get fine, maybe you have to have some qualifications, but if you can get a college degree out of it, you are going to be a higher income tax earner.
more
and that
productive,
money is
yeah,
going
more
to go
productive
I
member
agree.
of society.
I agree.
No, I don't want to say more productive.
More
because-
likely to be more productive.
Correct.
Okay,
You're
how
going to be most likely a higher income earner, potentially. Again, I know truck drivers that make more money than me,
Right,
and I
right.
got a college education. I just think they're going to pay back in the system versus maybe you can't afford it. Maybe there's the people that, I could probably take a loan out. I could probably afford it. I mean, State University, again, when I don't know what it is now, it's probably not more than 8-10 grand. You could get out of college relatively cheap nowadays, but you're going to be able to pay right into the system. You're going to be paying taxes at a higher value than you would have potentially without that degree.
All right. You want to talk about other free
And I'm a libertarian, and I don't want the government paying for stuff.
I heard that
And
you're
I-
a libertarian.
I think that
Okay, I'm a libertarian without all the crazy stuff.
I think that you're on the right page, and I agree.
I don't agree necessarily free. I'm like, again, middle road.
There needs to be qualifiers, and I feel like if you're going to make that blanket statement of across the board, it's going to be
And you know
free.
what? I also think there should probably be some pay to play. Not necessarily like in the Donald Trump
Right.
sense, but perhaps there's internships or jobs on
Yeah.
the campus.
You
that
got to be working.
You got to work 20 hours a week at an on-campus job.
Well, I mean, this article's pretty short. I'm sure that the documents that actually requiring,
something.
yeah, I'm sure that there's something in the fine print somewhere. And I just think it's a good thing.
And a lot of my opinions come from. I went to college at Radford University in Virginia.
That's right. So it's not even your tax dollars going to give these people
Right.
free school in New York.
But God help us all if we offer free college in Virginia and a bunch of kids start going to Radford. I'm not paying for some kid to spend drugged up drunk 4 years of his life like I did.
I know how college works, man. I'm just saying that, I didn't get a college education. I went to like one semester at Germana's because it was all I could afford, and it was high school with an ashtray, and I hated it, And so I wish somebody had said, you can go to State University for free, because I could have swung that. And I would prefer to have done that instead of living at home and trying to go to Germana,
You
And
could
then
live
I
at
ended
home
up
and went
flunking
to-
out, working shitty jobs, ended up joining the Navy, which is many good and bad things. But if I could have avoided that in my life because I had free tuition.
Well, here's the thing. Will those in the Navy pay you once you got back? If you chose to go to college?
Yes,
Within a window, right?
exactly. I had a window, but I got a job as soon as I got out, making good money. So I was like, I'd rather do that. And then after GI Bill expired, then I got fired.
Sorry. It's rough.
Yeah. So that's why that article popped out to me. You want to talk about free money in Finland?
In Finland?
Yeah.
I'm always willing to talk about free money.
Yeah. Thousands of unemployed to get $587 monthly in Finland.
Okay.
First country in Europe to pay its unemployed citizens a basic monthly income, amounting to €560 or $587.
Please, for the love of God, please tell me there is some kind of stipulation for this.
All right, it's a unique social experiment See, this is what I love. Is like we went from this controversial subject I kind of support that's a little bit left-leaning to this one, which is way left-leaning. All right. The government's going to cut the red tape. They hope to reduce poverty and boost employment by giving people free money. Okay. Olli Kangas from the Finnish government agency KELA, which is responsible for the
Kangas?
country. Yeah. Kangas, Kangas, which is responsible for the country's social benefits, said Monday that the 2-year trial for 2,000 randomly picked citizens who receive unemployment benefits already. This kicked off in January 1. These chosen 2,000 people will receive $587 every month with no reporting requirements on how they spend it. That's as far left as it gets, isn't it?
Okay, well, it's a pilot program. What are they trying to see? What are they trying to get out of it?
To, boost employment and reduce poverty.
To boost how?
How's it gonna boost?
How is this giving them free money
Well,
going to motivate
Make them to want to get a job.
to get a job?
Anyone here welfare in the U.S.? Why get a job? I just keep getting a check.
I just watched $1 Million Baby, so I'm kind of pissed off about it.
Billion Dollar Baby?
$1 Million Baby.
What is that? Is that girl boxing movie? Oh, yeah, I didn't see that.
I was flipping through the channels, and the mom was like,
Didn't Clint Eastwood die this year, too?
no, I don't think he died. Yeah. But Hilary Swank's character gave her mom a house. She did all this boxing, got all this money. She gave her mom a house, and the mom's like, I can't have the house. It's going to ruin my welfare checks. That pissed me off.
That's funny.
But I was reading something, and I don't have details. I'm just going to throw it out there. Elon Musk was talking about, you know who Elon Musk is?
He's the solar cell guy.
Tesla. Yeah. He was talking about, and I'd be kind of worried about our robot overlords coming and taking over someday.
You are old.
That's their word.
And well, here's what I'm looking at. You're looking at Tesla. They have a robotic car ready to go today. They got government regulations. They push a button, the software download to your Tesla, and your Tesla's driving all over for you. So that's a fact. Robots are going to be able to drive our cars.
Androids.
Show
some respect.
Androids are going to be able to drive our cars. Yes, I do want to show our robot overlords.
You robotist.
And you heard about Uber, what they did in Austin, Texas.
They did like completely autonomous.
Overnight.
Yeah.
On Friday, legislation was passed that you had to pay just for background checks for your drivers. They said they didn't want to do that. If you pass that, we're leaving. They got passed on a Friday. Monday morning, Uber was out of town. So, Uber is not really caring about their employees, and there's a point to this. They've purchased 50,000 robotic cars off the assembly line.
Uber has.
Yeah.
Are you not telling me as soon as legislation is made that, robotic cars are viable, Uber's not turning that on and they're getting rid of their human drivers? So I'm looking at that. Now, they always say technology always comes. Civilization, video game, you get crossbowmen. Well, the archers are obsolete.
You know who's going to be against this? Who's going to be a major lobbyist against this?
Me?
Insurance agencies.
No, Geico's. From my understanding, Geico and Allstate and Progressive, they are looking at legislations to be able to. Insure these. They're looking at these at commercial products. They realize this is the future.
They prefer that, and they want to get on it.
Because they want to reduce their claims. They can still get money from you, but if they're not paying out claims, their biggest thing is paying out claims. They can reduce...
Well, then rates need to go down too, though.
They would. They would adjust that. Okay.
Because accidents decrease, then the rates would go down.
I mean, the average driver is like 14. Average car on the road is like 10 to 14 years on the road. They're still going to have those on the road. It's going to take a while for the fleet. But if 10% are reduced, I just saw something with Tesla, or maybe it was a Tesla. It was one of the robotic cars. It saw the accident happen before it and braked and made sure it put the emergency brakes on so nobody behind crashed them. It saw the accident before it happened. But my point is, robot overlords are going to take over for us. And what Elon Musk was saying, this is back to what you were actually talking about before I went on.
I'm ready.
On Tom the Talker.
Get to it.
He was talking, we need to move to a socialist network. I had to read it, but I'm saying if there's actual layoffs that can exceed what we can naturally progress to replace it, and with the way we're repopulating, I'm not saying that's again. I'm pretty much to the right there. I'm worried about our future. Watson, they're taking over customer service jobs. To do basic entry customer service job, you can reduce half your workforce.
People need to watch Wall-E again. I'm saying.
Listen, if I could,
and I wish that I was joking more about that.
but you're not wrong. I don't know what's good, but I have to read it.
Wall-E is a messed up movie.
It's an incredibly messed up movie.
Because he killed all the other Wall-E units.
And
he was defective.
Yeah.
He's crushing them all. Put him in a big brick walls.
Put him in a little tower of trash.
And like the people of Wall-E.
Wall-E the cannibal.
The people of Wall-E. Do you ever notice that like they're all in like their middle ages? There's no elderly people on that ship.
No kids.
Dude, there's a Soylent situation going on there.
Yeah, they're eating each other.
They're all none of them are eating real food.
Yeah,
they're all drinking these shakes.
Liquid. Yeah, Soylent Green.
Thumbs up.
People.
It's people.
What is it with pilots and drinking? Why do pilots like that so much?
Because autopilot exists.
I guess.
You sit there for 8 hours while the pilot drives you.
All right,
Go west.
This is from Rebecca Felgate's homeland, Canada. God, I love you, Rebecca. A Canadian airline pilot reportedly passed out in the cockpit while being drunk on the job. Sunwing Airlines, don't use them.
At least it's an airline I've never heard of.
Yeah. Captain Miroslav Gronich. Yeah, that's Slavic as hell. He was drunk. He was reportedly behaving oddly before he became unconscious in the cockpit. Just staggered in, passed out in the cockpit.
Isn't that like a 80s movie?
Yeah, that's like the beginning of a 80s movie or a Denzel Washington movie. According to police, after his arrest, 37-year-old man was found to have over 3 times the legal limit of alcohol in his body.
What's the legal alcohol limit for
in Canada? Pilots? I don't know. For airlines?
I didn't know. I mean
1.8. I don't know.
I mean, technically,
it's Canada. Come on.
What was that movie, Canadian Bacon? It's like one of the funniest scenes of that movie is when they're at that hockey game in Canada and they're drinking the beer and they're going boo during the Canadian national. Like, start the game, the Canadian national anthem. And all these Canadians are just quietly tolerating them. And they're saying, oh, Canada. And then he finally says, I'll tell you one thing, the beer sure sucks. And that's when they lose their mind and start kicking the crap out of them. Oh, that was like the funniest scene in that movie. 37 years old.
You take back what you said about Labatt Blue.
Son, Labatt's Blue is pretty good, actually. I'm sure you've had it, yeah. You're from Buffalo.
Headquartered in Buffalo now.
Yeah.
It's no longer a Canadian company.
Yeah. Sunwing posted an apology. We're sorry. We didn't notice.
I'm sorry. How much money do those guys get paid?
Pilots?
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh, it's a lot.
They have enough to get free college in New York.
It's one thing being a bus driver. I mean, okay, I'm not going to say a bus driver should be driving drunk.
No.
Lives can be lost, but you have hundreds of lives in the air. Again, I just watched Sully. I've been watching a lot of movies. And if that guy was drunk, he would have crashed right in the middle of New York City after that bird strike. They get paid too much money. Put your drinking aside. I mean, if it's too boring for you, quit. You're making a lot of money. You're making more money than most people have. It's a difficult job. You have so many people's lives in your hands.
It's not one of those. I mean, drinking and driving.
Well, that's stupid too.
Obviously,
meanwhile, isn't like the general rule of thumb that they've got a co-pilot, and every once in a while, a flight attendant will come in. Do you guys want anything to drink?
Yeah, and they're like vodka. You know, I mean, just because there's 2 guys in there and one of them's sober doesn't make it okay that this guy's.
No, what I'm saying
passed
is like
out.
The job can't be so boring that drinking is your only. You've got somebody to talk to.
Listen, I'd be sitting there. All right, autopilot, mobile phone out, and playing League of Legends or
whatever.
You're already breaking rules because you're on your mobile device while flying the plane. Don't you know that interferes with the electronics?
That's what they want to
That's what they want you to believe. All right, from one airline to another, let's talk about United Airlines. And this happened in Charlotte, North Carolina to Washington Dulles. All right, United Airlines says it's investigating after a vendor employee was found unharmed in an aircraft's cargo hold in a flight from Charlotte, North Carolina to Washington Dulles. The airline said in a statement that the Associated Press on Monday that United Express Flight 6060 operated by Mesa Airlines. Wow, what a convoluted network. Landed safely in Dulles on Sunday, which probably happens 2 or 3 times every day. It's a short flight. Charlotte to D.C. is probably like an hour and a half at best. But they said once at the gate, an employee of the aircraft's ground thing was found inside the cargo
hold.
Cargo
Baggage
hold. He wasn't identified, and he hasn't said
Well-
how he ended up in there.
Here's the problem.
He was drunk.
He didn't have his ID on him. I mean, if you're working and you're legitimately putting luggage in there, wouldn't you have your ID on there? I think that's how it got leaked to the media, because he didn't have his ID and they thought it might be a terrorist threat.
Right.
Because if they saw, oh, what are you doing up there, Joe? Oh, here's my ID. Yeah, I don't know how I got stuck in here. You guys closed it too soon. Nobody would have cared. And honestly, they wouldn't want anybody to know. They would have said, all right,
Dude,
don't do it again.
I can explain this. I can explain this
He was
so
snapping.
easily.
He was napping.
He was napping. He was hiding. Time got away from him. Maybe he was maybe
He
he
might
was
have been high.
token. But he was hiding out. He fell asleep.
He was in Carolina. He didn't know which bathroom to go to. Got lost.
I'm just gonna go in here. All right. How many cars do you think you could hit in a row before somebody stops you?
Before somebody stops me?
Wait,
About 10?
hold on.
How many can I hit? Is this a challenge?
We need clarification here.
In your vehicle, if you're driving down the
I'm
street.
driving in my vehicle.
Is this like a Grand Theft Auto situation where I'm trying to hit him?
Kinda.
Okay. How many cars driving down the road?
Yeah.
Are there cars parked on the side of the road?
Yes.
A lot.
All right. This guy.
I think I could hit a lot of cars.
I'm going to pull a Ricky Bobby. Go by him down the street.
Well, this guy got 12. See if you can do better. All right. This happened in D.C. as well. A man was arrested early Tuesday after he drove into more than a dozen cars. All right, including some police vehicles.
Yeah.
All right. The police said in a statement that at about 1 a.m. they spotted a Mercedes SUV, all right, with Maryland plates that had been reported stolen on Sunday. All right, and this is from in Northwest where it was stolen. He was driving erratically around 1 a.m. Yeah, of course.
That's where they want all the cameras.
Yeah, 1700 block of H Street.
Damn, right in the thick of it.
Yeah. The SUV hit a police scout car, 3 unmarked police cruisers, and several other parked cars.
Oh, that was a targeted attack.
At 1 a.m. on a Tuesday night.
He was distraction. That's how I'd pull my crime.
For real.
Dude.
If I was going on a heist, and I noticed 3 unmarked police vehicles in how short a stretch of road?
They had to have been pretty close.
Wait. What night was this? Was this
1 a.m. Tuesday?
And a scout car?
Sunday.
A scout car, 3 unmarked police vehicles on a short stretch of road in central D.C. I'm sorry, was it northeast? Northeast
Yeah.
D.C.
If it was southeast, I don't know, but
Yeah.
there is at least a police presence.
So northeast D.C., he hits 3 unmarked vehicles, a scout vehicle,
And a marked vehicle,
and he's in a stolen high-end vehicle
Yeah.
from out of state.
Well,
Well,
I don't
Maryland.
consider Maryland out of state from D.C.
It's a different location. That to me
looks intentional.
looks intentional, and it's either a distraction.
If I put on my
he immediately disabled 4
aluminum
four
foil
police
cap
vehicles.
hat, I would agree, because that's the first thing I would do. Is the first thing of robbery when I think of these things is distraction.
Yeah, and he's disabling 4 police vehicles because they're involved in a crime. They're not leaving that scene to go deal with another crime.
I mean,
If they
it'd
were-
have to be a big crime for them to leave.
If they were there unmarked and they were scouting something at 1 o'clock in the morning, or if they were on the job at 1 o'clock in the morning, they're no longer going on task.
Yeah.
Was the person drunk or they're sober? Did you get the
It didn't
details?
say in the article.
I would think it's a distraction.
Distraction. Because if there's that many 3 unmarked cop cars, they're probably watching somebody sitting on somebody.
in one place.
Yeah.
Something was up there.
And so he got a friend to hit him so he can get out or something like that. You're right. That's interesting. I didn't really think about it because the article is definitely a little short on the details.
Yeah, they didn't know the crime committed because they successfully distracted them.
Well, it's about 6:59. We only had one more story. It's about a woman smuggling a teenager into Spain in a suitcase. If you go search for that story.
No. Let's do it. We have 5 more minutes.
Well, you just got to go search for this news story, look for the picture, because the picture has that shows you this teenager shoved into a suitcase. When I was a kid, I'm talking about 8, 9 years old. We would do things, crazy things. It's the 80s. We would like zip
Get
each
in the
other up in
suitcase and you
suitcase
push 'em down the stairs.
Push them down the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun. Good fun.
Who didn't do that?
But I never asked anybody to smuggle me into Spain. So, I mean, why would you want to? It was the teenager was a refugee, African migrant, hidden in her suitcase, bringing it into Spanish territories. Authorities stopped the 22-year-old woman last week at the border, crossing into Quetta, I believe that's the pronunciation, one of 2 Spanish enclaves in North Africa, from neighboring Morocco. All right, the 19-year-old migrant from Gabon was found concealed inside. He was offered medical attention as soon as they got him out because he was like all cramped up and he hadn't been breathing for a while. He had lack of oxygen. All right, Border Control had become suspicious of the woman after they noticed she was carrying her luggage on top of a trolley. This poor kid. Yeah. Spanish officials said that the woman showed an evasive attitude while going through the established controls and nervousness. All right, she looked nervous. Europe, land borders, they're just talking about the Spanish territory, like you care. All right. Anyway, I mean, there's refugees from all sorts of different countries because it's a crazy world we live in, especially in that area like Africa and the Middle East. And so you got the Syrian refugees and all sorts of refugees from different countries, and they're trying to get out. Who can blame them, That being said, don't shove a teenager in a suitcase. There's got to be a better way to do it.
He was a refugee. He couldn't have been that heavy. You can fit him.
Well, yeah, if you look at him, he's clearly skinny, African refugee. Yeah. I need to go to Burger King. You don't see fat refugees, right? I'm hungry. I haven't eaten since 4. 2 hours. I haven't eaten. Anyway, it's 7:01. I figure it was time to wrap up the show.
We can do that.
Alrighty. I gotta pee. I need a cigarette.
Well, sorry to anybody for my insulting you of your Carrie Fisher.
You're kicking Carrie Fisher.
Kicking her.
I apologize to no robots.
You robotist.
Robots.
I apologize to the androids.
Oh my goodness. Well, this has been the Shock Monkeys. Thanks for tuning in. We love you.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Thank you for Tom coming out. That was awesome.
That
We
was cool,
appreciate
Tom.
you.
Thanks.